Hi, I'm Nancy Dobbs, president of KRCB Public Broadcasting. Today and for the rest of this year, we're celebrating 25 years of KRCB, telling our stories and connecting our communities. In this episode, the Friends of the Petaluma River are here in the studio. These folks are laying the foundation for a brand new River Heritage Center, and KRCB is thrilled to be lending a hand. To get things rolling, let's go back in time with this Heritage Minute, a local production of KRCB made possible by viewers like you.
Nowadays, if someone says, "Meet me in Petaluma," getting to this North Bay city is as easy as 101. But for a century, it was the narrow tidal slough we now call the Petaluma River that made getting to Petaluma possible. Situated in a fertile valley, Petaluma boomed along with the rest of California. Petaluma Creek, as it was then called, also brought the town grain, lumber, and supplies. And it transported tens of thousands of passengers to and from the growing town beneath Sonoma Mountain. At the turn of the century, Petaluma was more popular than ever, and industry sprang up alongside the riverbanks. The Golden Eagle Milling Company and other well-known Petaluma institutions set up shop. By 1921, congestion along the riverfront was so great that the Petaluma Turning Basin was built. In 1959, Petaluma officials dubbed the former creek the Petaluma River to ensure federal funds for dredging on a regular basis. As Petaluma shifted from city of industry to suburban community, new housing, shops, and pedestrian walkways sprung up along the riverbanks. Yet even today, adventurous sailors from across the bay or across the world can set sail for Petaluma. And like the earliest settlers, they too can see what this boomtown has to offer.
This Heritage Minute was made possible by the Petaluma Downtown Association.
I'm Bruce Robinson, here with David Yearsley of the Friends of the Petaluma River. This spring, KRCB is working with David and the Friends to help keep our rivers flowing. So, David, I know you were formerly the Riverkeeper for the Petaluma River. What is it about this river that you find so compelling?
Well, Bruce, I like to say the mud got in my blood at an early age. I grew up on a tidal estuary, and when I moved to California in 1968, I gravitated toward the tidal estuaries of the San Francisco Bay. I found the Petaluma River and the Petaluma River's estuary were a home to my passion for nature and the tidal estuaries that I understood and loved.
Now, here's a river that people may cross over on the freeway without giving much thought to it. Part of the purpose of the Friends of the River is to tell the river's story to a broader audience.
The Petaluma River has been misunderstood and I think underappreciated for a long time. To begin with, it's not really a river. The Petaluma River is a tidal slough. It runs with the tide in and out twice a day, so it doesn't really have a directional current like a river. Every river has an estuary at some point. It's the portion of a river that is affected by tides as it enters the sea.
Now is the time to support KRCB's 25-year tradition of telling our stories, connecting our communities at the $100 level. It's easy. Call 1-800-287-2722 during this program and speak to our friendly phone team. Tell them you want to sustain KRCB's connections to our community. Make a $100 investment in KRCB and we'll thank you with this great package of gifts from the Friends of the Petaluma River. An all-cotton baseball cap with the Friends logo stitched on the front. A copy of the DVD highlighting the Petaluma River and the friends who support it. And recognition for your valuable contribution inscribed into KRCB's supporters plaque at the planned Petaluma River Heritage Center. Give a $100 gift in your name or in the name of a loved one, but call now and support KRCB, celebrating 25 years of telling our stories, connecting our communities. Also, consider a gift to KRCB at the $60 level.
I'm Bruce Robinson here with David Yearsley. David is from the Friends of the Petaluma River. David, where's the process and how close are we to actually seeing a center opening?
We're the primary nonprofit that's moving this forward for the city of Petaluma, and we're partnering with the city of Petaluma to restore the livery stable at Steamer Landing Park near downtown, and to use the grounds and create access to the river in that area. Once we have our use agreement signed by the city council, we'll be able to start running programs there immediately, because the park land connects to the river and is open to the public on a regular basis. Restoring the livery stable is a longer term process, but we just got some good news. We may be eligible for city redevelopment funds to help improve the grounds and restore the livery stable. That was very exciting news to me.
And as you do this history, I guess the river has a longer history than Petaluma itself because it was there first.
The ancient tidal marsh, the Petaluma Marsh, is a representative of the tidal marshes that surrounded the west coast, and it's the largest remaining contiguous natural tidal marsh in California.
I'm Bruce Robinson, here with David Yearsley from the Friends of the Petaluma River. And David, you've been up and down the river, I don't know how many times. What's your favorite part?
My personal favorite is the deep marsh. On the backside of the Petaluma Marsh, the largest tributary is San Antonio Creek. And near the headwaters of San Antonio Creek, they're kind of a secret, quiet parts of the marsh.
That's where you get the most sense of being away from civilization?
Exactly. Even though you're connected, because visually you can see the highways in the background, you can't hear them, and you feel like you're in a world of your own.
A lot of wildlife?
Abundant wildlife. The wildlife like that undisturbed portion of the marsh, and we see raptors in abundance, both eagles and hawks and harriers and kites, fish and shorebirds at low tide. There's a lot of wildlife all over the marsh, but there it's most apparent.
So that's one way to get connected with nature. KRCB's mission is to connect with organizations from all across the San Francisco Bay Area. Now it's your turn to make a connection with us. Become a supporter of KRCB at the $100 level. I'm Bruce Robinson, here with David Yearsley from the Friends of the Petaluma River. And David, one of the things the Friends is working on right now is creating a heritage center about the river. Tell us about those plans.
Bruce, this is something we're very excited about, and it's been a goal of mine since I started working to educate and celebrate the Petaluma River over 10 years ago. The Heritage Center concept is now focused on livery stable that was historic, and it had to be removed from downtown. It was moved to a park very near downtown, and what's now become Steamer Landing Park. That livery stable makes a great focus for celebrating the river's heritage, because McNear's Peninsula is surrounded on three sides by the river. And there we think we can tell the story of the river, both in its history and its natural resources. And we can connect people to the river with interactive programs, boat building, nature awareness, outdoor heritage skills, and storytelling and events. This is the year for the River Heritage Center.
How is the river doing these days?
Petaluma River is confused to some people because it's not actually a river. As an estuary, it carries nutrients from the tidal wetlands to the aquatic food chain. That makes it look murky and sometimes have a pungent odor. But the Petaluma River, I'd like to say it's doing well.
Well, that does it for another episode of Telling Our Stories, Connecting Our Communities. If you missed anything or you want to watch this episode again, please check out Video on Demand online at krcb.org. And while you're there, click the Pledge Your Support button and make your generous contribution to local, independent KRCB. I'm Nancy Dobbs. Thanks again for your continued support.